Okay, mister, you want to sit next to me? You want to sit next to me for this? Okay. Fur is everywhere now. Great. Okay, so you want to impress your boss. You basically want to get a raise, right? And maybe you feel like, dude, I've been doing this job for like 10 months and nothing is changing. Does anybody even know how awesome I am? Okay, I'm here to show you how to impress him or her or they. Here's the first thing you want to do before you get to a meeting with anybody. It doesn't even matter if they're above you. Anyone in your company, you send them an agenda. You send them a laptop for free. No, you email them an agenda of what you want to cover in that meeting. Do this well before the meeting. You can even, if you end up sending it like 2 minutes before, that's fine too. But here's the thing, an agenda tells the person you're meeting with that you value their time, you know what the hell you're talking about, and you're well organized mentally. That immediately starts building trust with people. So you never want to sit down in a meeting with your boss and be like, hey man, big day today, huh? Don't do that. Don't do that. So you want on that agenda, you want to show them, you're going to say, hey, so excited to talk to you in a few minutes. Here's the 3 things I want to cover. You're going to say what you want to cover. Then you're going to say, here's how I think I can solve. Here's a problem that I'm dealing with, and here's how I want to solve it. So anytime you bring a problem, you also bring a suggestion of how you think it should be handled. This shows somebody that's leading you that you're thinking, and you're not expecting them to just, you're not like, I can't do anything. Can you tell me how to fix my problems? You're not doing that. You're like, hey dude, here's an issue that's coming down. Here's a way I've decided I think we can fix it. What do you think? And the third thing is that you bring specific questions to your boss. You are literally, think of it like you are in charge of that time. You have asked for somebody else's time and you value it best by coming with an agenda, telling them what you need, what you think you figured out, getting their feedback and their suggestions, asking them questions. Make sense so far? I'll tell you, I have talked to so many CEOs and I've said, if an employee did that, what would you do? And this is their response. They're like, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. That never happens. And it's so simple. It's not even like that risky. You're just simply putting it on a sheet of paper, right? Or an email. Okay, that's number 1. Here's the next thing you can do to impress your boss. Tell them how you want to grow. It is so much pressure on a manager if you're like, so how do you think I should grow? They're like, I don't know. I'm managing 10 other people, right? You want to tell them, this is how I want to grow, and then ask them, how would you go about doing that? So this is what it could look like. If you're like, hey, I really want to be a leader here one day. It seems like there's some skills that most leaders have here. This is what they look like to me. Project planning, strong verbal communication, strong strategic thinking. Is that what you see too as a leader? So you're coming with ideas. You're always coming with ideas. You're not just a blank slate, right? So as you tell them, these are the areas I want to grow. I want to be a leader, and I think these are what it takes to be a good leader here. Then you say, how would you advise that I go about learning these skills? Are there any conferences I should be going to? Are there groups here in the city that I can be growing in these areas? How would you see me growing? You're not asking them like, what do I need to grow in? You're just asking them, how should I go about this? Do you have any suggestions? Again, if you're willing to do that, we'll have tons of suggestions for you. It's just so often when a new employee or an employee comes in and is like, hey, I really want to grow. The manager's like, okay, I don't even know what that, okay, good luck. I don't, in what way, right? So you get as specific as you can. That will show them that you're critically thinking. Okay, you bring goals to them. You say, my goal by the end of the year is to perform 30% above my sales goal. Whatever it is, if you're in sales. Otherwise, that'd be a weird thing to say. But you're just gonna tell them, here's my goal. And you're gonna make sure they know your goal. And then you're gonna tell them when you crush your goal. And you're gonna remind them, hey, remember when I said in September, I was gonna bring in an extra 30%? I'm so excited because we just nailed it and we got it. You're going to make sure that you tell them what your goal is and you communicate to them when you've actually accomplished it. Because even if your boss like loves you and cares about you so much, it's very important that you could what feels like over communication, you over communicate to them what you're doing and how well you're doing it. So that's something that me and my people on my team, they'll tell me, hey, just so you know, this is how many videos we're releasing this week. Hey, just so you know, this is how much we've sold this week. They're coming back to me and sharing with me what's going on. even though they're getting their work done and I trust them, they still want me to know how well they're performing. And you've got to do the same thing with your boss. I know that might be like, well, I don't want to be cocky and arrogant. I don't want to be like, just like, you know, whipping out my tools and my skills and letting everybody know. No, you have to advocate for yourself and just let people know what you've been up to. And you can do that in a humble way without being like, I'm basically the best here. You don't have to do that. You can just say, hey, I'm really excited. This is what we've accomplished so far. Here's the last thing, and this is gonna sound kind of, might sound weird. Okay, something happens in the office and it really pisses you off. It grinds your nugget, if you will. And you're sitting there and you're like, are you kidding me right now? Well, as soon as whatever that thing is happens, say, here's a perfect example. There's a meeting that you believe you should be a part of, and for some reason you weren't on the invite. And you see them all in the conference room and you're like, screw everybody, right? And you're feeling that heat. It's very common that that's when newer employees freak out and get themselves into a lot of trouble. So here's what I would suggest you do. In any situation, even if it seems horrible, you do everything you can to believe the best first. Like maybe somebody organized the meeting that I don't know. Maybe that meeting's about something I don't even know. Maybe that meeting's about a surprise party for me. Whatever it is, do everything you can to believe the best and then simply ask for clarity. And when you ask for clarity, you're not like, listen, I know you guys had a meeting. What was the meeting about? Tell me what the meeting was about, right? You're not doing that. You're actually truly saying like, hey, I saw there was a meeting yesterday. Typically, I kind of thought that I was in those, so I'm just curious, is there something I missed or something that anybody needs help with? There's a way to share that your expectations haven't been met that's not heated, right? So it's a great way to build rapport with your boss is to show, I'm believing the best and I trust you, I'm just confused. You see how that's different? Like, hey, in the past, this is kind of how it's been. I'm seeing this go down. Has something changed that I need to know about? That's totally different than being like, hey, I'm usually in those meetings. This doesn't seem right, or avoiding somebody because you're so mad. So to the degree that you can communicate clearly that, not that you're upset, not that you're mad, but simply like, hey, I think we're amiss right now. Can we just get on the same page? If you can take some of the emotion out of it and just believe the best. I'm not asking you to be a robot. I'm saying that most of the time people aren't out to ruin your life. Most of the time you can believe that your boss who's paying you to be there isn't also simultaneously trying to ruin you, right? And so if you can come to them and say when you're confused, hey, I'm just confused. This is what's going on. Do I need to know do I need to get in the loop here? Or are we good? That will make a huge difference because they'll know that you believe the best about them and you trust them. So trust being built both ways is a huge part of getting your boss's attention and building a strong relationship where when there's an opening, guess who they think of? You. Okay, tell us what you think about this video. What stands out to you? What did you hear that you thought, oh shit, I'm gonna do that? I wanna hear from you below. Feel free to leave a comment. I always write back personally to everybody who writes a comment on my videos. So come join the conversation, impress your boss tomorrow, write the agenda, and also rescue a dog.